everyone! Welcome to my virtual class. I am Mom J and I'm your teacher for today. Happy learning! Ngayong araw, ituturo ko sa inyo ang tungkol sa linear functions. So, umpisahan ko na. So, what is linear function? A linear function is defined by f of x equals mx plus b, where m and b are real numbers. So, pag may nakita kayong statement na f of x equals mx plus b, ibig sabihin isa siyang linear function. So, f of x equals mx plus b, so m stands for the slope, and b stands for the y-intercept. So, dapat alam nyo yung dalawang yan. Si M, siya yung ating slope, at si B ang ating y-intercept. Its graph is aligned with slope M and y-intercept B. So, mamaya i-discuss ko sa inyo yung graph ni linear function. So, if M is not equals to 0, then the degree of the function is 1. If M equals to 0 and B is not equals to 0, then the degree of the function is 0. If M equals 0 and B is equals to 0, then the degree of the function is not defined. So, ipapakita ko yan sa inyo. So, not all linear functions. So, meron akong apat dito na hindi linear functions. Bakit kaya hindi? So, number 1, we have f of x equals x squared plus 3x. Bakit kaya hindi siya linear functions? So, unang-una, hindi siya naka-form as f of x equals mx plus b. Since, yung ating variable x ay naka-raise sa 2. So, naka-degree siya na 2. So, hindi na siya linear function. So, number 2, f of x equals x squared plus 10. So, hindi rin siya naka-form as f of x equals mx plus b. At ang x squared, x natin ay naka-raise sa 2. So, ang degree ng ating function ay 2. So, hindi yan. And number 3, f of x equals x cubed plus 5. So, hindi rin siya linear function kasi hindi siya naka-form as f of x equals mx plus b. And yung degree ng ating function ay 3 kasi ang exponent ni x ay 3. Number 4, hindi rin siya linear function kasi si f of x equals x squared minus 2x plus 4 ay hindi naka-form as f of x equals mx plus b. And ang degree natin ay 2 kasi yung exponent ni x ay 2. So, yan. Hindi siya linear function kapag ang degree ng ating function ay naka-raise sa 2 or 3 or more than 1. So, determine the values of the function f if f of x equals x plus 3 at x equals negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So, kukunin muna natin yung value ng ating function. So, gagamit tayo ng function notation. So, naturo ko naman to last time. Wherein, yung value ni x, papalitan lang natin para makuha natin yung f of x or yung value ni y. So, using the function notation. So, let's have number 1. Let's have letter A. F of x equals x plus 3 at x equals negative 2. So, we have f of x equals x plus 3. So, dahil ang ating x ay equals sa negative 2, so, papalitan natin siya ng negative 2. Ayan. Then, isolve na natin. So, negative 2 plus 3 is equals to 1. So, the value of the function at negative 2 is equals to 1. Letter B, f of x equals x plus 3 at x equals negative 1. So, palitan natin ang value si x, which is negative 1. So, palitan natin siyang negative 1. Then, solve na natin. So, negative 1 plus 3 is equals to 2. So, the value of the function at f at negative 1 is equals to 2. Let's have letter C. F of x equals x plus 3 at x equals 0. So, ang x natin, palitan natin ng 0. Then, solve. So, 0 plus 3 is equals to 3. So, the value of the function at 0 is equals to 3. Letter D. So, we have f of x equals x plus 3 at x equals 1. So, palitan ulit natin ng value si x. So, palitan natin siya ng 1. Then, solve. So, 1 plus 3 is equals to 4. So, the value of the function at f at 1 is equals to 4. And letter E, f of x equals x plus 3 at x equals 2. So, ganun pa rin. Palitan natin ng value si x ng 2. Ayan, solve natin. So, 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. So, the value of the function at 2 is equals to 5. So, determine the value of the function f if f of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So, this time, yung ating variable ay negative. Si x natin ay negative. So, tingnan natin yung kanyang mga value given at x equals negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. So, using the function notation, ganun pa din. So, let's have letter A. So, f of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals negative 2. So, palitan natin ang value si x ng negative 2. So, dahil ang variable natin dito ay negative, so, magiging negative times negative 2. So, pag times natin yung dalawang negative, alam natin na ang sagot ay magiging positive. So, magiging 2 plus 3 na siya. So, 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. So, the value of the function at negative 2 is equals to 5. Letter B. F of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals negative 1. So, ganun pa din. Palitan natin si x ng negative 1. So, dahil negative ang ating x, so magiging negative times negative 1. So, pagka parehas negative, magiging positive. So, magiging 1 plus 3. So, 1 plus 3 is equals to 4. So, the value of the function at negative 1 is equals to 4. Letter C, f of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals 0. So, palitan natin si x ng 0. So, 0 plus 3 is equals to 3. So, the value of the function at 0 is equals to 3. Letter D. F of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals 1. So, palitan natin siya ng 1. So, dahil negative yung ating x, magiging negative 1 na si 1. Yan. So, negative 1 plus 3 is equals to 2. So, the value of the function at 1 is equals to 2. And letter E, f of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals 2. So, palitan natin si x ng 2. So, dahil siya ay negative, so magiging negative 2 na siya. So, negative 2 plus 3 is 1. So, the value of the function at 2 is equals to 1. Ayan. So, alam nyo na kung paano kunin yung mga value ng ating function. So, order pairs of a linear functions. So, order pair can be written as x and y, xy. So, let's have letter A. So, f of x equals x plus 3 at x equals negative 2. So, ang x natin dito ay positive. So, alam natin na ang f at negative 2 is equals to 1. So, if x equals negative 2, then y equals to 1. This gives the order pair negative 2 and then 1. So, ang x natin si negative 2, ang y natin is 1. So, saan ang galing yung 1? Kasi, di ba, kumuha tayo ng value ng ating function kanina gamit ng function notation at x equals negative 2. So, yung f of x, siya yung nagre-represent kay y. Let's have letter B. So, f of x equals x plus 3 at x equals negative 1. So, alam naman natin na ang f at negative 1 is equals to 2. So, if x equals negative 1, then y equals to 2. This gives the order pair negative 1, 2. Letter C, f of x equals x plus 3 at x equals 0. So, f at 0 is equals to 3. So, if x is equals to 0, then y equals to 3. This gives the order pair 0, 3. Letter D, f of x equals x plus 3 at x equals 1. So, f at 1 is equals to 4. If x equals 1, then y equals 4. This gives the order pair 1, 4. So, these are the order pairs for f of x equals x plus 3. So, negative 2, 1, negative 1, 2, 0, 3, 1, 4. So, as you notice, as x increases, the value of y increases. So, let's have f of x equals negative x plus 3. So, this time, yung x natin dito ay negative. So, at x equals negative 2. So, alam naman natin na ang value ng function natin at negative 2 is equals to 5. So, if x equals negative 2, then y equals to 5. This gives the order pair negative 2, 5. Letter B, f of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals negative 1. So, f at negative 1 is equals to 4. So, if x equals negative 1, then y equals to 4. This gives the order pair negative 1, 4. Letter C, f of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals 0. So, f at 0 is equals to 3. So, if x equals to 0, then y equals 3. This gives the order pair 0, 3. Letter D, f of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals 1. So, f at 1 is equals to 2. If x equals 1, then y equals 2. This gives the order pair 1, 2. Letter E, f of x equals negative x plus 3 at x equals 2. So, if f at 2 is equals to 1. If x equals 2, then y equals 1. This gives the order pair 2, 1. So, ang mga order pairs niya ay negative 2, 5, negative 1, 4, 0, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1. So, as you can see, as x increases, the value of y decreases. So, kasi yung ating variable dito ay negative. So, as x increases, the value of y decreases. So, mapping diagram of a linear functions. So, let's have letter A, f of x equals x plus 3. So, ito yung mga order pairs niya, di ba? Negative 2, 1, negative 1, 2, 0, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5. So, ngayon, i-convert natin siya as mapping diagram. So, mag-drawing tayo ng dalawang oblong. So, ito yung x. At meron siyang mga elements na negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, tsaka 2. And then, pangalawang oblong, ito yung y natin. So, si f of x, hindi ko na siya ginamit. So, ginamit ko na lang ay si y. So, So, meron siyang element na 1, 2, 3, 4, tsaka 5. So, si negative 2, naka-correspond siya kay 1, si negative 1 kay 2, si 0 sa 3, si 1 sa 4, at si 2 sa 5. Letter B, so we have f of x equals negative x plus 3. So, ito yung mga order pairs niya. Negative 2, 5, negative 1, 4, 0, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1. So, lagay natin siya as mapping diagram. So, ito yung mga elements ni x. Negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. Ito rin yung elements ni y. So, we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, si negative 2 correspond to 5. Si negative 1 naman kay 4. Si 0 sa 3. Si 1 sa 2. At si 2 sa 1. So, as you notice, ang ating mapping diagram ay naka 1-to-1 functions. 1-to-1 correspondence, sorry. So, the mapping diagram of a linear function is a 1-to-1 correspondence. That for every value of x, there is one corresponding value of y. So, kung ano lang yung value ni x, meron lang siyang isang value ni y. So, 1-to-1 function. So, tatandaan niyo yan. So, table of values of a linear function. So, paano nyo ma-determine na ang isang table of values ay linear functions? So, ito siya. So, try muna natin. Si f of x equals x plus 3. So, gawan muna natin siya ng table of values. So, kapag negative 2 si x, ang value ni f of x or ni y ay 1. Pag negative 1 naman, ang value ng ating f of x ay 2 or y ay 2. So, pag 0, 3. Pag 1, 4. At kapag 2, 5. So, na-solve na natin to nung kanina. So, pagmasdan natin yan. So, get the difference of x. So, kunin natin yung difference ng mga x. Pwede kayong magpuntang kanan, pakaliwa, or pwedeng kaliwa, pakanan. So, same, lang naman, answer. Sa sign lang magkakaiba. Pwede maging negative, pwede maging positive. So, kunin natin yung difference ng mga x. So, negative 2 minus negative 1. So, ang sagot ay negative 1. Negative 1 minus 0 is equals to negative 1. 0 minus 1, so we have negative 1. And 1 minus 2, we have negative 1. So, the first differences of the x-coordinates are equal. Diba? Magkakapares sila na negative 1. Let's have the difference of the y. So, get the difference of y. So, kunin naman natin yung difference ni y. So, pwede din tayong pakanan or pakaliwa. Pares lang naman ang lalabas na sagot. Yun nga lang, mag-iiba lang ang sign. So, depende sa direction ng ating pagkuha ng difference. So, ang aking ginagamit ay pakanan. So, let's have 1 minus 2. So, we have negative 1. 2 minus 3, we have negative 1. 3 minus 4, we have negative 1. And 4 minus 5, we have negative 1. So, as you notice, the first differences of the y coordinates are equal. So, pare-pare siyang negative 1. O, ayan. Tingnan natin yung pattern, ha. Sa letter A pa lang yan. Sub-letter B. So, we have f of x equals negative x plus 3. So, nakuha na natin to kanina. Ita-translate lang natin siya as table. So, if x is equals to negative 2, y equals to 5. If x equals to negative 1, y is equals to 4. If x is 0, y is equals to 3. If x is 1, y is equals to 2. And if x is 2, the value of y is equals to 1. So, ayan. So, ganun ulit. So, let's get the difference of x. So, pwede pa kanan, pakaliwa. So, magbabago lang naman tayo ng sign. So, depende sa procedure, sa directions. So, ang ginagawa ko lang ay parating pakanan. So, kunin na natin yung difference ni x. So, negative 2 minus negative 1 is equals to negative 1. Negative 1 minus 0 is equals to negative 1. 0 minus 1 is equals to negative 1. And 1 minus 2 is equals to negative 1. So, pare-parehas sila. So, ibig sabihin, the first differences of the x-coordinates are equal. Diba? Pare-paras kasi silang negative 1. So, let's get the difference of y. So, ganun pa rin. So, 5 minus 4, we have 1. 4 minus 3 is equals to 1. 3 minus 2 is equals to 1. And 2 minus 1 is equals to 1. So, makikita nyo na ang first differences ng y coordinates ay equal. So, pare-pareha. So, ano ang inyong napapansin? So, how do you determine that a table of values is a linear function? Ayan, ito siya. So, the table of values of linear function shows that the first differences of the x coordinates are equal and the first differences of the y coordinates are also equal. So, kapag kinuha nyo yung difference or yung first difference ng ating x, kailangan magkakaparehas. At pag kinuha nyo yung difference or first difference ng ating y, dapat magkakaparehas. So, pag parehas ang ating difference at parehas ng difference din ni y, so yun ay isang linear function. So, kapag sa umpisa pa lang magkakaiba na, hindi na siya linear function. So, tatandaan niya na ang table of values ay isang linear functions kapag yung first differences ng ating x coordinates ay equal. The same with the first differences ng y coordinates ay dapat equal din. So, ayan. So, graph of a linear function. So, sinabi ko na kanina na ang graph ng linear function ay isang line. So, tingnan natin. So, we have letter A, f of x equals x plus 3. So, ito yung mga, diba, order pairs. So, negative 2, 1, negative 1, 2, 0, 3, 1, 4, 2, 5. So, i-graph natin siya. So, sa negative 2, 1, nasa quadrant 2. So, ito siya. Yan. So, negative 2 ang ating x value at 1 ang ating y value. So, ito siya. Next, si negative 1, 2, nasa quadrant 2, 2 pa rin. So, ito siya. Si 0, 3, nasa y-axis. Ayan siya. Si 1, 4, nasa quadrant 1. At si 2, 5, nasa quadrant 1. So, dapat alam nyo kung paano mag-graph ng mga points. Di ba, tinuro ko naman to nung nakaraan. So, pwede nyo balikan kung hindi nyo pa rin maalala. So, ayan. So, nag-graph na natin siya. Na-plot na natin siya sa graph. So, ngayon, lagyan natin siya ng line. So, ayan. So, nakita nyo? Isa siyang line. Lagyan naman natin yung letter B. So, we have f of x equals negative x plus 3. So, ito yung mga order pairs niya. Negative 2, 5, negative 1, 4, 0, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1. So, i-plot natin siya sa graph. So, si negative 2, 5, nasa quadrant 2. So, ito siya. Si negative 1, 4, sa quadrant 2 pa din. Ayan siya. Si 0, 3, nasa y-axis. So, ito siya. Si 1, 2, nasa quadrant 1. At si 2, 1, nasa quadrant 1. So, ayan siya. So, lagyan natin siya ng line. Ayan. So, ano napansin nyo sa ating graph ni linear function? So, the graph of a linear function is a straight line. So, wala kayong ibang makikita na graph ni linear function, kundi straight line lang. So, pag hindi siya straight line, ibig sabihin, hindi na siya linear function. So, kaya nga linear sabihin line. Line lang yung kanyang graph. So, let's have the domain and range of a linear functions. So, meron akong pinlat dito ng mga points. Ayan. So, meron ako munang tanong. So, what have you noticed about the arrowheads of the graph? So, what can you say about it? Ano masasabi nyo sa ating graph? Sa arrow na ating graph. Arrowheads na ating graph. So, the graph extends to the left and right. Upward or downward without bound. So, kung napapansin nyo, yung ating arrow, pwede siyang ma-extend. So, pwede yan humaba, pwede yan pataas, pababa, at pwede pakanan, pakaliwa. So, ano kayang ibig sabihin yan? So a function f is defined by f of x equals mx plus b, where m is not equals to 0, then the domain of the function is real numbers. And the range of the function is real numbers. So in symbol, so ang domain daw natin ay set of x such that x is an element of real numbers. And ang range naman natin ay set of y such that y is an element of real numbers. So, ang symbol ng real numbers ay ayan. Ayan yung parang R na may paganon. So, stands for real numbers. So, tatandaan nyo na ang domain tsaka range ni linear function ay set of real numbers. So, kahit anong numbers pwede. So, try it now. So, kayo naman. So, check natin. So, check ko kung talagang naintindihan nyo or alam nyo na kung ano ang linear functions. So, kung kilala nyo na si linear functions. So, determine whether it is a linear function or not. So, write yes or no. So, sabihin nyo lang kung siya ba ay linear function o hindi. So, alam nyo naman kapag equation ang ating given, so, alam nyo kung paano masasabi kung siya ay linear function or hindi, diba? Dapat naka-form siya as f of x equals mx plus b. So, kapag table of values naman, kailangan yung first differences na ating x at first differences na ating y ay equal. So, dapat equal si x, equal si y. Yung kanyang difference. Okay? At kapag graph, so, ang graph ng linear function, alam nyo naman ay dapat ay straight line. So, kapag hindi siya straight line, hindi na siya linear functions. So, yun lang naman. So, kailangan kilalanin yung mabuti si linear functions para hindi kayo mahirapan. Ayan.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time!